40 k's of hills to get into it.
Yep. All right, we're on.
Greetings to another video. Today you're going to see my pain face when I'm on the bike doing an effort. And so, yeah, today you're going to see me do an effort up Norton Summit in Adelaide, Australia. Just a couple of little stats about it. It is 5.48 kilometres long. It's an average of 5% and it's 292 metres. And so, yeah, it was really, really good this morning to be paced. I've not really been paced before on climbs. I've generally done, generally done it myself. So on this morning, you can see Dan behind. He's going to be coming up pacing me in a second. And then you've also got Harley, aka Durham Rider. In front, you can just see the shadow on the bottom right of the screen in a minute. So he was going up there, chucked my GoPro on the back of his bike, and this is the footage. I don't know why I'm explaining how I got the footage, but yes, that is why. Because actually one of the main things that you all want to see, and I get asked so many times, is we want to see you riding your bike, because I'm always filming everybody else. So this was a really good opportunity to be able to, I guess, for you to see my pain face. So yeah, and I guess one of the main reasons as well why I wanted to do Norton Summit, obviously it's really popular. I think there's like 21,000 people that have done it. But for me, it was the first ever climb that I'd done when I first got my bike, 5 years ago. And it literally took me, 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, doing this exact same climb. And I just remember back then it just felt huge. It just felt like the longest mountain. Like, it just felt so big. And so it's so nice to actually go back and have a bit of a crack at it and just give it everything that I got, really. So that is what you're seeing now. It was really warm the morning that we did this, hence why I've not got a jersey on. The jersey was Durham Rider Harley was carrying it for me. So yeah, I just whipped that off and off I went to try and you can see me there actually getting a little bit grumpy with Dan, because I was like, Dan, what are you doing? Like, go ahead, because I felt like he was at the side. So yeah, sorry about that, Dan. I was like, what are you, and I think I don't know why he's dropped behind. But yeah, so that is why I'm following the wheel. And I guess all the efforts, like I was saying before, all the efforts that I've ever done, I've always done on my own. And so for me, it was always looking at my own numbers. So for me, I found it quite tough just following someone's wheel, just looking at a wheel, because I'm like, I don't know, I just like knowing my own number. So even though I was kind of glancing every now and again, I was just trusting the wheel, because I was aiming to go under 17 minutes. And so, yeah, also one of the tips if you're trying to get a really good effort is to try and keep your watts at a very, very similar level, not to really be jumping around that much. You're just going to get a better time that way. So, yeah, you can see Dan popping up now to get ahead, so I can just sit on, I guess, both their wheels. But it was so much fun. Like, I absolutely love this time. Like, my face probably doesn't show it, but I love doing efforts like this. I just don't know what it is. There's just something about, like, really going hard on a climb. I just think it is the most fun. I actually prefer it to racing. Actual real life racing. Like, Zwift is very similar to kind of for me. I just love it. I just think it is just so much fun. I think it's because obviously you're on an incline. Like, I'm not a big fan of riding on the flat. So for me, if I can just, put an effort down on any climb, then I'm very happy. I just really love it. So yeah. So my watts, I think it averaged 280 watts over the segment. You can have a look on my Strava. Actually, there's a link to the Strava in the description box. But if you want to actually look at the specific day that I did this, I think the name of the ride, I've put a link to the actual ride, so you can just click on it and go and have a quick look there. All my rides that I do, they're all on Strava, all with power data. So if you want to have a look how hard I'm working, or when I'm slacking, head on there and either encourage me to work a bit harder, or if I've been working hard, then you can just give me a little kudos. So yeah, It is just, I really do just love climbing. Look how pretty it is as well. This climb is a very, very pretty climb. Yeah, really did enjoy doing it. So yeah. Like I said before, like this type of climb, for me, I just find perfect. Anything up to about an hour for me is like a good, like I feel like they're the kind of climbs that I'm better at. I don't feel like I'm that good on really steep short ones. I think I'm better on quite gradual long ones, or I don't know whether that's just because that's what I've practiced for so long, but I genuinely do just prefer them, where I can just sit at a steady power and just plug away at it. Tell me what your favourite type of climb is. For me, this is like my ideal climb. I think it's because I'd spent so many years going back to Chiang Mai for the festival. There was a vegan cycling festival there for maybe 3 or 4 years. And every morning it would be you ride up the Doi, which was like 11k climb. And I think that got me really used to doing longer climbs. But yeah, that is it. And I guess if any of you are interested in knowing how I like kind of trained over that 5 years, I think I just practiced it. I have recently started doing like actual set plan training. But for me, it was, from taking like an hour and a half to get up there, to getting a bit quicker, it was literally just going. I just loved climbing. Like, even from the start, even when I was slow, even when I was carrying like an extra 35 kilos of body weight, I still loved the climbs because I knew that was what was going to get me fit. And I just kept doing them and doing them and doing them. One of my local climbs that you've heard me talk about, Dove Stones, lovingly I call Dovies, that for me, for every single year, I would go back and try and get a faster time. So I was always kind of in my head, I wanted that faster time up there. And actually last year, 2019, was the first year that I didn't do an effort up there. So I need to go back, and I was going to actually go today and do an effort because I am back in the UK now. But the weather was a little bit too cold. I think I just got so used to this heat that when I've come back, I'm like, oh yeah, it's pretty cold. So maybe I'll go in a couple of days or something, or this week, and do another effort up there. It's cool. But look at the concentration on my face. It's almost like, and I think the reason that I love it is because it's like meditation. It is taking everything out of your mind and just concentrating on pushing pedals. And I think that's why I love it so much. It's like you just forget everything. I'm not really thinking of anything. I think that's, I guess, one of the tips that I would, if you're wanting to get better at doing, efforts like this, is it's teaching your mind to switch off. And even though you're in pain, you just keep going. You just try not to think of anything. And that's why, I don't know, that's why I really like this type of climb. Because it's over before you know it, even though it's like a 17-minute, 16-minute climb for me. I just love it. I really do enjoy this type of climbing. So you can see there, I talked about this in another video, that is my new bike. It is the Ribble SL, which is a super light, and it's rim brake version. The first time I actually rode it was in Australia. I took it out brand new, jumped on it there because I didn't want to get it dirty on all like Manchester's wet and gritty roads. So I was like, I'm going to save it so it's all pristine for Australia. It's so comfortable. Really, really enjoying riding it. You'll be able to see it better in a bit when we get onto the side. But yeah, really enjoying riding that bike. As you can see now, I've dropped off the wheel a little bit. And I don't know whether it's this bit that Dan kind of pops in to try and drag me back on. But I am just trying to get back on. So my watts have dropped. But I'm there. I think that's the thing. You just got to follow that wheel. And it's so nice and fun when your friends want to come out and actually pace you up and do an effort. Because it is more fun when you do it together, and obviously there's added benefits. You get drafting if you're really close on the wheel. You've got to trust that person in front of you, though. And I am quite picky. I won't, this sounds funny, but I won't sit on anybody's wheel. I've got to trust them. Because because you do it before, and you really you've got to trust that person, because if they just suddenly do something ridiculous and you're really close on the wheel, it's split seconds to be able to get out of the way, or I don't know. I'm just very picky. So yeah, I'm happy to sit on Harley's wheel because I know he's not going to do anything crazy. So yeah, it's also, I guess, learning to ride on people's wheels in like groups. That's what I've been doing with Rafa the last few years. Like group rides is just getting used to and trusting people in a group, because they're all like, I guess, if someone's new, I wouldn't want to necessarily sit on their wheel because they might just do something crazy. But so yeah, enough of that anyway. So yeah, what else shall we chat about? I feel like I don't actually look that much in pain. I feel like when I'm going back thinking of this when I'd finished, it didn't feel like I'd given everything, because then I still carried on and did like another 60 or 70, was it 60k that day? I can't remember. I rode further down south, because I feel like if you're doing an effort, you've got to be absolutely done do you know what I mean? You want to leave it all on the road, and I didn't. So maybe another time. Maybe I'll have to go back next year and give it another go. You can see my cadence at the very top as well. That's like over 100. It's like, I think what people say for the best type of cadence is between 80 and 100. Because for me, I don't ever grind when I'm climbing. Some people do, and some people, that's what works for them. For me, I just don't like it. I much prefer to spin. So it's quite high cadence there. But yeah, I don't really feel like, maybe you do, but I don't really feel like I look that out of breath. I feel like I could be going a lot harder. So I'm keep having to have a drink. I've made some dal, and the spice in it are just like quite strong, and it's making me cough a little bit. Yeah. Also, another way of kind of building yourself to keep this amount of like power and stuff is online Zwift racing. Like that for me is just incredible. Oh, it's so much fun. I guess it's like a similar thing to this. If you've not got a climb like this near you where you can go and do an effort, then Zwift racing is just a great way that you're able to put a really hard effort in and just go as hard as you want for as long as you want. I guess for me, without the risk of irregular race where there's a risk of you coming off or someone else crashing into you. I think this is like, for me, these are the safest ways. And I guess for the ways that I enjoy training more are efforts like this on a climb and Zwift racing. So yeah, they are my favourites. But let me know which is do you have like a set climb that you go back to and want to get a better time each year? Like I guess Dove Stones is for me. And I guess Norton is for me now, because I want to go back next year and get a better time on there. And I guess it's all, I mean, none of it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of the fun of it for me. It's just fun getting fit, isn't it? Like, I love it. I just absolutely love it. Although my face does not really say that at this moment. Yeah, I can see now I do look like I'm a little bit in pain. And then you'll see in a little bit, I don't know, is there a car? Yeah, is there a car behind me? No, there's a massive truck as well. And I could hear it, and I was like, oh no. And there was no way for it to get around. Even if I'd pulled right into the side, it wouldn't have been able to get around. So I'm just like, it's just going to have to wait. It does come around in a second though. But I think at this point, I knew that I was almost towards the end. And I feel like, for me, I'm one of these people that I want to know stats. Some people don't want to know. They don't want to know numbers. They don't want to know how far they've got left. Whereas for me, I like knowing like, oh, I'm halfway, or, oh, I've got, less than a K left, because I know for me, that's how I can pace it. And I love knowing numbers, and I just think it's so fun. It's so interesting to look at. But you can see my power drop there. I think I've just changed gear. And I know that I'm coming up to the end of it. I hope you find this interesting. I love seeing people's like power data and, you know, how they actually climb. So for me, you just got to spin it, get the gears and just be able to spin up a climb and just push. I also think that for doing an effort, I feel like my handlebars should be lower than they are, but I've got that set up for doing like really long big days. That's why I'm on the drops, because I'm trying to get lower and it's just more comfortable. And it's a strange one, because people say, oh, you shouldn't be climbing on the drops, but for me, I just find it just seems to work. I don't know why, but I just find it comfortable. It is a bit unorthodox, but yeah, I do like it. So yeah, I was aiming for sub 17. Little spoiler, I don't get it. Literally by a few seconds. But you'll see that in a second. Have I ruined the ending for you? No, I've got about a minute left. But if there's any other climbs that you would want to see me do, like in the UK or anywhere really, that I'll go and try and get someone that's fitter than me to go up ahead so they can film me climbing. I definitely want to do a Dove Stones one, because that is the climb that I've just practiced and I know that climb so well, whereas this one I've only done it a handful of times, and so it all kind of looked the same. Whereas I think when you know a climb better, you know if there's a little bit where you want to push a bit harder, or yeah, but we've come right to the end now. You see, okay, now I know I'm near the end, because like, look at my watts. I'm like, I just want to get this done. I want to get it over with, and I want to get sub 17. I'm like, come on. And I'm like, you can see me now looking like how far left there is to go, like how long wide. Oh God, that bloody truck. There's another one as well behind. But yeah, my cadence 105, 103, 26 kilometers an hour, about 280, 290 watts. You'll see in a second. I think the finish is there. You'll see me just stop pedaling. So I got 17:03. I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest, but it is what it is. Nothing to stress about. And it's just all good fun at the end of the day. Like, I love it. I love being paced, and it is just about having fun on your bike and putting yourself through the ringer just to get a bit of a workout. So I hope you've enjoyed that longer video. If you're still here at the end with me, then thank you so much. Any other climbs you want to see me ride like this, let me know. And I will see you next video.